Hello and a very good evening. Wasn't that a lovely show? We've got another fantastic show for you now with the launch of our one-day special. It is our Hemline Gold, and it's all to do with our sewing. And we've got the lovely Rosella here to help us out. Hello and a very good evening to you.
Hello,
it's been a while, my darling.
You know, we were saying that, wasn't
Yes.
it? I've had the pleasure of Scott recently, but I haven't had
You could call it that. Some others would say something else, to be honest. But sufferance, I call it, sufferance. But you came back for more, so that's good.
I did.
You did. He didn't put you off, did he?
Not at all.
No, that's
not
good.
at all.
That's good. What have we got? What have you got for me in this fantastic bundle?
Right. Well, Fiona, this is a bit special.
Yeah.
So if you're like me and your craft room, and you've collected things over time, haven't you? And your mat's one colour, and your ruler's another colour, and your rotary cutters could be anything at all. And so this is your essentials, but oh so pretty essentials.
Premium collection.
That's exactly what it is, Fiona. And you know what? It's really, really special. I don't ordinarily have the packaging in front of me.
But it is rather attractive.
Although it is rather attractive. But I have for a very special reason, and that's because you'll find with this packaging there isn't any plastic at all. So things like this little packaging here, tiny little bit of cardboard, is the Rotary Cutter.
Gotcha.
And you can see the instructions are there. So there's no extra leaflets, anything like that.
Minimal waste.
Absolutely, and that's really important, I think, Fiona, and I'm sure you do too. So that was why I wanted to save that. So your packet, and it's also really, really pretty, obviously. So if you're gifting this, and why wouldn't you? Just saying. Then you'll find that it is a beautiful, beautiful gift to give. And we've chosen the best. So we've chosen the essentials, we've chosen the mat, we've chosen an absolutely essential ruler, and a little multi-mat. If you've never seen a multi-mat before, then stay tuned. You're really going to enjoy that. But we've got extra bits too. But Fiona, let me let you get on.
Yes, okay. Yes. So our one-day special consists of our Rotary Cutter, our Patchwork Ruler, our Quilter's A4 quilt multi-mat, I should say, which is with our Rosella. So let's start with the multi-mat. So this one here, so in terms of a multi-mat in terms of usage, this is fantastic because it's A4, so we've got this that we can reverse on an iron on it. Is that right, Rosella?
That's right,
yes.
that's right, Fiona. So you've got a little ironing board there, and when I say little, actually that's a really good size. So if you are sewing on the go, this is perfect. If you are a patchworker, I'm not a quilter, I'll say that now. But if you are, then you've probably seen these, and you're going to realise just how useful they are, but just how pretty it is as well.
And it's the 4-in-1, isn't it? So when you open it up, we have that, what I always call, well, you've got the self-healing cutting mat itself with all those measurements on it itself. You've got the anti-slip layout sheet for the places, I suppose sometimes your quilting blocks, your pieces that your embroidery pieces that you're sewing. But then it opens up to that, this is almost like, it feels like a fine emery board, doesn't it? That's the best way I can describe it.
That's exactly what it is, Fiona. Yeah, absolutely. Shall I talk about it whilst you've got it?
Yes,
Let me just talk about what that is. So your cutting mat, now this is great because this cutting mat is in centimetres and in inches. So for those of us that don't deal necessarily with one or the other, you've got the choice of both. As you so rightly said, Fee, then you've got this beautiful soft mat for laying out your patchwork pieces, etc. So this is your design area of the board. So you're going to be able to put down perhaps you're doing English paper piecing, you're going to put that down, you're going to have a look at it, is that the decoration you want, and leave it there ready to take the next piece. And then if you just flip that over, you so rightly said we've got a little bit of sanded board there. If you are marking your fabric, can you see that it's not going anywhere?
No.
So that's going to be an anti-slip area there for you so that you can mark it. So, and then it folds up really, really neatly, and just actually having the ironing surface on there is so very, very useful.
It's a perfect size for like your bag, or we have got a lovely kit bag with us today, but that perfect size, and it's not too big. It can easily slot into, you know, our tote bags and what have you that we might have on the go.
Absolutely, yes.
So yeah, beautiful for, you know, sewing projects on the go. Then we've got the Rosary Cutter now. It's a 45mm. There's a lot of fantastic features on this. Would you talk me through these then? This as well, please, Rosella.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely gorgeous for a start, isn't it? So we're staying with the black and the gold theme. So actually, fun fact before we go on, Fee, on my way here today,
go on.
I passed a Rolls Royce. Not necessarily unusual, except it was all rose gold.
Oh! wonder who owned that.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Premium,
but I
you
thought,
see,
actually,
classic.
exactly, it's gold. It was it was a good omen. Anyway, back to the rotary cutter. You'll notice that it's got a little trigger action.
Yeah.
So when you pull that in, that releases the guard, because rotary cutters are very, very sharp. If you've never used one before, you will fall in love with it, but it is really sharp. So you're going to pull that trigger, and then you've got a little locking mechanism. So you're going to push it to the other side,
And that keeps
and then it's open.
out of the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then just press that locking mechanism back again, and it's safe.
I love that guard idea, because often they don't have the guard on them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's really it's nice to hold. Ergonomic, they say, don't they?
Yes.
It's really nice to hold. It's relatively chunky, but it's not too large. You know,
Yeah.
I've only got little hands. So no, I've been using it, as you can see from the blade, and it's a super little rotary cutter.
Fantastic. And the good news is, because the guard has been built, it's not something you're going to lose or put down and think, oh, where did I put the guard, you know, the guard head for that. Then we've got the Patchwork Ruler, which is a must, isn't it, if you are a quilter or sewer. 24 by 6.6, lots of measurements on there, aren't there?
That's right.
Super long.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the ruler that I use most of the time.
You go to.
I do have the smaller rulers, but I actually, because, I mean, even if we just lay down, let's just get a fat quarter that I've got over here. So if we lay, isn't this pretty? Isn't this lovely?
Isn't that lovely?
So it's one of our linen ones for you. We'll look at those in a bit. But can you see then, let me put the ruler on the top. If I want to cut top to bottom, and just as it is, I need a longer ruler to do that.
You do.
And, I am a sewer, I'm a hobby sewer, and I make dresses. I'm not an expert at quilting, etc., so I need all the help I can get. And this is just absolutely perfect, because I know then that I'm going to run all the way through, and I don't need to be shoveling it along.
Yeah, added to which you've got that perfect mat, the perfect matching size for underneath for exactly that same purpose, haven't you? We've got that at the bottom of the screen as well, just to highlight that. But back to, that's all the premium, beautiful hemline gold bundle, as it were, our one-day special. A £10 saving, and the rest, because we've been discussing a few prices, Rosella and I, but I'll tell you about that. 2 flexi-buy payments are £21.24. They are the essentials, and maybe yours are looking a bit dogged. Maybe you haven't got the lovely, you know, the multi-mat there. Maybe you're getting started. Maybe you're looking around, you're just thinking, yeah, I'd like the premium range. I'd like to, you know, like it all nicely accessorised. Why not treat yourself tonight? £42.47, 078508. And with everything with hemline gold, you know, limited edition, once it's gone, it's gone. We can't bring you any more. Now, the multi-use craft bag, we're rather in love with this, aren't we?
We certainly are.
This is a bit of gorgeousness, isn't it?
This is, you know, Fiona, this is just absolutely wonderful, isn't it? Again, you've got that pattern. It's all matching. So maybe you're doing up your sewing room, maybe you're just getting a sewing room or an area in your house that's going to be your sewing space and your crafting space, and you want it to look absolutely super, then just these accessories are just going to look great. But this is so useful, Fee, isn't it?
It's gorgeous. And I don't want to look like a frumpy old dowager with me craft bag. Do you know what I mean? I want something that's a bit of gorgeousness.
Well, we're making beautiful things. We want to use beautiful things, don't we?
Exactly. So tell me about the features there, because we were talking about this, and I said, "Oh, can I open the zip all the way?"
You
said,
can.
yes,
Do you want to do that? Do you want to demonstrate the zipper?
Well, here we go. I'd love to. And it's an important feature, because here we go. We open it all up, and it comes out completely. Because when you open it up, and you don't forget, you've got that lovely front pocket on the front. Ta-da! What have we got here, Rosella? Because you've got the overhead.
This is a bit special, isn't it? So this is actually an ironing mat. So how fabulous is that?
How good is that in your bag?
In your craft bag. And this little flap comes out of the way so that it's not
nice
stood
and
up or
flat.
anything.
Yeah.
And then
That's so useful.
Look at this.
Slots in
yes.
perfectly.
Don't we love this? But then you've got space for your accessories. You've got inside pockets then for your fabric maybe that you're going to put in there as well. You've got really, really strong straps, and I'm a big fan of strong straps.
Me too.
All the way down. There's nothing at the top. All the way down. Again, that's your packaging.
They're not reinforced. Inevitably, it tears with the weight of whatever you're carrying, doesn't it?
And, you know, we do put a lot in, don't we? Let's face it. You've then got...
Another pocket, I didn't see that pocket.
Yeah, another pocket there. So I like the secure one for your phone, your keys, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I like the larger one. I just love the size of this because at the moment I'm heavily on taking my stitching around, taking my sewing around. I can get my picnic in here as well. So,
I love those separate departments.
Absolute bonus, that is, isn't it?
It is, and your A4 multi-mat fitted in it beautifully.
Look at that.
Slotted in perfectly. Isn't that gorgeous?
Isn't
you
that
see?
just so beautiful? And it fastens over the top of the multi-mat, which is really, really important. And, you know, about the zip, that is so important. How many times have we had a craft bag and it's great, except that it doesn't do anything more than that? And it's like, great, except that, where did that go? I can't quite remember.
I can't quite fit that in there. But what they've done is they extend those two zips on the bottom, which undo, yeah, you can pop that multi-mat in there. So they're giving you that extra space, that zip. You know, it's the detail, the devil's in the detail, which comes all the way undone. All these separate intricate pockets that Rosella's explained, at a fantastic price point there, £28.99, 621953. You could add it to your one-day special and split that over 2 flexi-buy payments as well. Create that flexi order as well, because I think that's a must. They go together, as does, oh my word, I love this as well. You see, I've got to have the collection, the Hemline Gold collection, the sewing box. And again, these have come a long way since my mums and my nans. Do you know what I mean? They were quite, I don't want to say fuddy-duddy, but they kind of were, weren't they?
Yes. Yes, I mean,
this is an eyesore. Yes, that's right, Molly. That's right. This is not, however. But they were, weren't they? That was stored away in the bottom, and you'd get it out and go, oh, but you're more interested in what's in it. However, this is luxury. This is gorgeousness.
I think.
I don't mind if this is out on display, Rosella.
I think that's it, isn't it? I think this collection is made to be seen, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So it's not. You know, when you leave your sewing room, you think, oh well, I better put it all away, because actually, when you go back in, the last thing you want to do is to go into an untidy space, isn't it? But actually, if it looks absolutely beautiful like this. In fact, I would actually decorate it around this. It's just great. But it's a good size for you as well, isn't it? And you've got so much room within there. Obviously, I've already started putting things in mine.
Yes, you filled yours already.
The embroidery scissors, which we're going to look at in a little bit. You've got a pin cushion there as well. But this is a nice, deep pocket for your scissors. So, as you notice, when I lift the lid up, they don't fly out.
Yes.
You've got the tray there. Now, I've put some of our accessories in there. But if you think you want maybe threads in there, maybe you're going to put bobbins for your sewing machine. I've actually got a tin with all of my sewing machine feet that I'm going to need over the next couple of days in. But this is a far better idea because you can see them and then you can put it out of the way.
Yes, that's true. The clear tray. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, it's really, because otherwise it's just a big space to fill, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then, can you see then? I mean, I have put sort of stuff in there already, but you can see how much room you've got. And again, your sewing box doesn't need necessarily to stay at home. This is a little carry box. This can come around with you as well, but it's got so much room within there. I just think it's just absolutely beautiful.
And I've got the measurements there, 19 by 26 by 14.5 centimetres, and you've also got those lovely, and that press stud there, the little feet on the bottom, so you're not going to scratch your surface of your nice working area, and it stands nice and sturdy and proud with a lovely sturdy attractive handle there. £21.99. Again, perfect accessory with the Hemline Gold range. Once it's gone, it's gone. 100887. Now, the lovely scissor bundle. You just mentioned the embroidery scissors. We've got the dressmaking scissors, and we've got the pinking shears. Talk to me about these then, Rosella.
So, actually, I'm just going to get the embroidery scissors back out again for you, so you can look at all of them. Now, isn't that interesting, because we've got the clear acrylic as well?
Yes, I was curious about that.
I know, doesn't it look so good?
And it's stylish.
And
the black and the white.
Really, really comfortable as well. Embroidery scissors. Now, these are great. In fact, I've got some fabric here. Let me do a scissor demonstration as if you've never seen one before. But here we go. Look how sharp they are. Now, I'm obviously a huge embroiderer. My embroidery scissors and my beading scissors cost £17 a pair.
Wow. The embroidery scissors.
Because you know, you've got to have good scissors.
You have.
And these are good scissors. You've then got your dressmaking scissors. Now, I like this because I don't have huge hands. These fit nicely, but what you have got is a nice large thumb grip and hole in there, because there's nothing worse than you get your fingers in the scissors and then actually you can't get your thumb back out. And again, you can see they just slice through it. They are so pretty. Ooh. And then pinking shears. You need pinking shears in your life. You really do. And again, just look at that. Isn't that just absolutely
it's like
gorgeous?
Sliced through butter. Now, they're very expensive pinking shears. You can pay £26 to £30 just for them alone, can't you? Would I be right in saying that?
For this particular pair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
For the Hemline Gold?
Yes.
With other sources, should we say?
Absolutely, yes.
Gosh.
Yeah. So you need good scissors in your life. This is a good set of scissors. This is what you need. The small scissors, the larger scissors, your pinking shears. That and your rotary cutter, you're good to go for. You can cut the world through. You can, and there's a lovely sharp point on those embroidery scissors, especially if if you're trying to unpick some mistake, with your sewing machine or anything like that. They're gorgeous. I was just sorry about the clanking. I'm having a bit of a feel there. They're gorgeous, because I'm like you, little hands, you see. Yes. So I don't want great big clunky. Well, you find yourself gripping your scissors then, don't you? And then it becomes uncomfortable.
Yes, tension
and it is.
I don't want that.
Want some, and it just looks so good for you.
Yes, and the tool does the job for you beautifully. All three of those for £31.97, 424178. We're here for this hour and at 8 o'clock, so please check out those prices elsewhere and you'll see the massive savings we've got on the show today. Now, Gutterman. These are fantastic. I've not seen the little tins, but we've got two options on them, haven't we, Rosella? Absolutely. Now, I look at these, Fiona, and it's your great shades, isn't it? You've got your sort of essentials there, haven't you? I'm lifting the box because I always love the Gutterman tins because they're so attractive. You need to show the outside. Yes, look, they're so beautiful. So this option is my pastels are on the left, and then I've got my classic. So isn't that beautiful? Just gorgeous all the way around the tin. It's just so attractive. It's absolutely lovely, isn't it? So why should I choose Gutterman for the novice out there? What's so good about this thread? Gutterman, they've been around for, now we did work this out, I think it was over 150 years. It might have even been longer. This is your sew-all thread, so this is the great thread. I've got it in my sewing machine at the moment. Well, it says 1925 on the tin. Do you think that's the... I think that's more the tin rather than than the thread itself. Yeah. It's a good quality thread. If you do stitch at all, if you've taken your fabric to the haberdashers at one point and said, OK, I need the cotton to go with this, the thread to go with this, there's a good chance they'll have said, here's the Gutterman thread, this is the colour that you want, because the choice of colours is... It's the name I see here all the time in terms of, exactly. Professionals You're
like
familiar with the name. Yes.
Also, I think that would fit rather nicely into our sewing box.
Oh, I think it would. And I think we need both. You have the lovely classics, and then you have the pastels, and it's saying 100 metres on each of the spools. Wow. And I'm going to show you the lid, because this one is different on your pastels. There we go. There's that. 1927. So, yeah, you were right. It's just something about, I don't know why that date is relevant in the Lederhosen, but there we go. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Just beautiful. So, two choices there. 100 metres on each of those spools. I mean, that is a hefty amount. Superb quality, as Rosella has said, £13.99 050 841. Now to the big, I mean, they look like old-fashioned, beautiful chocolate tins, don't they? My top one here, 1985, 48 shades. I mean, you've got it covered there, haven't you? You have, Fiona, and they're in a really useful tin. So if you're going to, I would keep them, well, I do keep them in my tin because I have these, because you've got the foam lining. But what it does mean is that when you've used up the thread, all you need to do is replace it, pop it straight back in again, and it's really easy to see the threads that you want. So when you are looking through your sewing box or your drawers, wherever you keep your large items, you can see exactly which thread it is that's going to go with this. And it is rather a joy, actually, to match up the fabric that you're using with the threads that you've got there as well. And again, you know, for gifts, this is, if you know a sewer, you know they're going to use Gutterman threads. You're on safe ground here. So, yes. I think it's just going to make a super present for someone. Wouldn't it just? A super present to yourself, quite frankly. It's a recognised quality brand there for your regular sewers there. Two flexi-buy payments of £30 for those 48 shades, 585504, and that lovely lovely decorative tin box. Now we'll go 1930, so another selection here of 30, and again, it's just all you go to, every shade you could possibly need again, isn't it?
It is, and what's more, Fiona, these are full-size reels, so they're not like a little reel to go in the box. These are your normal Gutterman sewing threads, 100 metres. So actually, if you sort of price compare how much you're going to pay for one reel of this, and you're getting a huge selection here,
Times
so
30.
obviously you're benefiting from the price on that, and it's just incredible value for money.
And we encourage everybody to do that in the meantime, but don't miss out. £39.99 for those assorted shades, 483,572, and we can split that into 2 flexi-buy payments for you as well. Right, let's look at the website as well, and then we'll join Rosella to see all of these fantastic products in action. They are available individually, and like we said, we encourage you to look for those prices elsewhere, so you'll see the savings on the one-day special. The A2 self-healing mat, that is very popular, £17.99. The A2 large cutting mat there as well, which I think that's the one you've got on the desk there, isn't it, Rosella? The big one, yeah.
The go-to size is the A2 mat fee.
That's a great price point, £17.99. We've got all the Bonder Web on there, the adhesive sprays, and you can see the Guttermans there as well. We've got some pick and mixes as well if you're looking for some fabric fact quarters. Yeah, pick and mix any two. Is that for £14.99? Lovely colours there. Isn't that amazing? Blush, brights, pastel, and the seaside. Fabulous. Well, let's go to Rosella and the A2 mat. Yes, and your ruler.
Absolutely. And at home, so I mentioned I like to make my own clothes, which I do. This is the size of the mat that's on my table because I cut out with a rotary cutter rather than scissors. And so I need the largest area that I can possibly get. And this is a really, really good size. If you've never used a mat this size before, then I highly recommend it. The other great thing about this, apart from the fact obviously it's black and gold, so it looks wonderful, you've also got then the centimetres on it as well. So it just means that if the pattern that you're going for, the design that you're going for says, oh, actually it needs to be 33 centimetres by 17 centimetres, then you can use the centimetre size as well. Now, I use my ruler mostly to measure. However, to actually look at, if somebody says to me, I'm just going to whip that over again, okay, I want something that's, 9 by 15 or something. Actually, you've got a little bit of an idea of what 9 by 15 might look like. It's like, oh, okay, oh, right, okay, so it's about that big. How much fabric have I got? Have I got enough fabric to do that particular thing? Have I got a 6 by 6 piece of fabric here? If I just take it to the ones there, no, actually I haven't. I've got a 6 by 5 and whatever that is, 5 and 3/4. So it's a really good aid to me. This is how I use it. One of the other things, because I'm just about to turn it on to iron, we've got on the show is this.
Oh,
now,
yes,
I know, isn't this brilliant? This is a really, really hot little iron, as I have found out, which is why it's not on at the moment. I'm going to turn it on. But great thing about this, it's a travel size, obviously, but look at that.
Yeah.
How
Nifty
much do we
feature,
look?
isn't it?
Oh
We
my
love
goodness, that is just so satisfying, isn't it? It's the steam iron as well, and all you need to do to take the steam accessory out is to pull the lever back, and you've got then a little fill tube that you can then fill up with water if you put water in your little iron as well. So again, we're talking about maybe stitching on the go, but these little irons, if like me, you're sort of sat, you're sewing, you want to iron, you want to bring it out, you want to bring it in, your big iron's not the ideal thing necessarily to do that. So a little iron is, to me, an absolute essential.
And it's just perfect fit with your lovely multi-mat.
Absolutely.
And, perfect fit for with your travel bag.
Exactly, that little bag that's not leaving my side. It's going to fit in here absolutely perfectly, isn't it? So it's going to fit in one of those. Now, because the thing about this is it's got a flat bottom.
Oh, yes, so we've got that sturdy...
Yeah, it's sturdy, but it also means that things like your iron that's flat is going to sit nicely in there.
Protected.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's protected. So it's just such a lovely selection, this, isn't it? It really is. I will put that out of the way, but I will keep it very, very close to me. Just there,
we'll never see that again, viewers. That one's gone to Rosella.
Yeah, that was sold. And just, excuse me, whilst I just plug my iron in now, because it's so hot, I did not want to put it in earlier.
We've got the iron there at the bottom of the screen, £24.99, and that non-stick sole plate. It is very, very handy, and you can see perfect size as well if you're using it with the ironing mat that is in the bag itself. 526026. For a little iron, it packs a powerful punch. Yes.
So, speaking of handy, I thought we'd make tonight this little phone pouch. Now, I carry one of these absolutely everywhere. You will find the tutorial on YouTube. I've already done it ready for you, so that if you don't follow me now. So I've got a little lippy in there. I've got room for credit cards in there. I've got my phone in there. I've got a little book ring on there. So I've actually got a bobble, but your car keys. So you know when you go to a restaurant, Fiona, and you think, I've got to take a handbag, and then it's got to hang on the back of my chair.
I'm the worst person because I leave the handbag behind me.
You leave.
So I tend not to, and everything's in pockets, and then I can't find which pocket it's in.
Yep.
And I deliberately don't take bags because I'm very renowned for leaving them.
So this is perfect because you pop everything that you need, and it can go either in the centre of the table, or it can actually go in, you know, in your coat pocket. It's out of the way, but it's
and all
got...
the things are together.
Absolutely.
I like that. This is lovely.
This is the one I take to the gym, hence it's got a little...
you need a hair bubble.
A hair bubble on it.
It's genius. Hair bubble. It's genius.
So I thought it's a really easy thing to make, and it's a really easy thing to customise as well. So I thought we'd perhaps just make this tonight.
I'm going to watch with intent.
So I'm going to do it start to finish. It's going to be quite lengthy, so you're going to have to interject and talk amongst yourselves, you know. And
if we've got any questions, we'll encourage our lovely viewers to email us in or ask us. Yeah.
So I'm going to use this fabric, and this is wonderful, isn't it? Now, this is cotton, but this is from our Cotton and Linens Fat Quarter Mix.
Ooh, luxury.
So these are lovely. I'm just going to see if I can see the rest of the ones. I might have muddled them up, though, because I have a nasty habit of muddling them up. The packs that come with it. How many do we get in a pack, Molly?
Five usually with a
Might be this one. These might be the ones that go together. Look at this. So you've got then, look at this linen. Isn't that just beautiful? And then you've got...
Look at the print.
I know, the print is just... Oh, I'm not sure. I've not mixed these up, to be honest. I'm not sure you get two prints in there. You'll have to have a look. Oh, that's looking okay.
Yeah.
Right. And then, and the stripes. Now, these are just lovely. And these are fat quarters, and obviously if that means absolutely nothing to you because you're not a sewer, then your fat quarter is a hefty piece of material, and it's so useful for so many different projects. And again, this is one of the linen ones, but it's so soft, isn't it?
Beautiful.
So I forgot why I got onto those now. That was the fabric. Well, look at that. I'll just put that to the side out of the way. So that was where this lovely fabric came from. So you're going to need your fabric, and I'm waffling because actually, if you want to do this along with me, I'm giving you time to do it.
Well, we've got them on the screen. Pick any two for £23.99, 135398. Obviously, if you've got some material to hand, you can get started with Rosella.
Of course you can. So I've got some I pre-cut, but also, now this is an essential little product. It comes in a lot bigger size than this. This is Fusible Fleece.
Oh.
So if you've heard of interfacing, iron-on interfacing, this is a broadly similar product, except that it's lofty. It's a fleece, which means it's slightly padded, because I thought, actually, we do need a little bit of protection for your phones, things like this. So then I think we've got it in a huge piece, which is really useful. I think we might have a couple of, I'm sure Molly will have a look.
Yeah, she's got a large, the heirloom fusible blend, 45 by 60.
And I think there might be an even larger selection.
Ooh, 15 metres by 75.
Hello.
You're going for the hefty wads there, Rosella. We'll get that up on the screen there. Yeah. Oh, why?
Now, I know you look at that
and you think, with that? Cladding a house? What are you doing?
You know, this is something that you use so very, very much. So what I would recommend is a quick phone call to 2 or 3 of your mates and say,
split.
Are you watching the craft store? What do you think?
Yes.
Because it's a really, really useful...
Thumb, I've got to show you. My word, my word. Honest to goodness, I had no idea. Look at this. Honest to goodness, yes, I'm just working out the guns.
That's exactly, and it's
amazing.
multi-use. You can use it for your exercise routine.
We don't even think this is the big one. What's this?
No, I think there's more. Anyway,
well, there's a bigger one.
If we've actually got it, we'll bring it out. But let me get back to my instructions, which I put over here. Right, so we need to cut some fabric. Now, you might want to change this according to the size of your phone, but what I'd recommend is make one this size, and then they're so quick and easy, you can adjust it and gift this one. So I'm going to stand up for this because I need to stand up to cut because I'm really not big enough, basically. So excuse me just a moment whilst I get up there. And I am actually going to have to move my chair as well. I'll just reorganise the set whilst I'm here. So there's my notes. So for the back of the case, I want 4.5 inches by 21 inches, or the length of my fat quarter. That'll do. It'll be fine.
Nice and easy, yeah.
Now, this fat quarter does look quite straight to me, so let's just have a quick look at that. Okay, so it's not quite.
Right.
Can you see that we're sort of running off the edges there?
Yeah.
So what we need is we need a straight edge to start with. So this is where our large ruler comes in. Now, if you've got a stripe on your fabric or an obvious pattern, then you probably want to line it up with that. You're going to go to your rotary cutter and you're going to unlock it. Now, because I'm so little, if I reach over here, this side of the ruler's not being held. If I reach down here, that side of the ruler's not being held. So I've got to try and work my way up there the best I can. So actually the bottom's relatively straight, so I want a straight edge. That's my starting point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my ruler here, and I'm going to keep my rotary cutter in my hand to the side of me, so because I'm cutting from my shoulder. I'm not doing this.
Okay.
I'm doing this because that's where the most power is coming from. So I'm going to hold on to my ruler and I'm going to start cutting. I'm going to leave my rotary cutter in, but then I can move my hands up and continue. And then I can move my hands up and continue. So that then the pressure that I need and the area that I need is there. And look how, isn't
nice
that just
steady,
wonderful?
yes.
Now, my dad came into my shed this week because I was prepping. And he picks, and it does, he picks things up. Oh, that's sharp, isn't it? Yes, Dad, that's very, very sharp.
Like, don't touch the paint. What?
Oh, yes. Finger on it. Yeah. So do be careful, please. But they are, excuse me, so useful. They're also really, really useful if you are a paper crafter fee as well. It's not. This is not just for sewers and stitches. Right, I've got one straight edge. I need two straight edges because then I know I've got a perfect right angle and everything I'm going to measure is from those two edges. So I need to line up my ruler with the straight edge that I've created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose one of the lines. This one happens to be the 3-inch line. I'm going to line it up perfectly. Now, you can see that it's not quite straight, so I need to move it over ever so slightly.
This is why those guidelines are so good.
Isn't it just?
Yeah.
And then, again, off we go again. So once I've got two straight lines, then I'm good to go. I know that I can measure from those. So just take that little tiny bit off your fat quarter, and then we can start measuring. So we've wanted, what was it, 4.5 inches by the length of my fat quarter. So I'm going to start measuring 1, 2, 3, 4.5 inches. And I know it's quite difficult because I've got the gold beneath me, but when you get yours home, if you've never used a ruler for anything, you need one. Until you've got one, you won't realise just how much you need it. Even if you only do a little bit of sewing every now and again, you think, oh, why would I need one of those? Once you've started using them, they are so very, very useful.
Is your material straight there?
Is my material? It doesn't matter on the bottom. So what
I was worried about that.
Yeah. So what I've done, I'm lining it up with the top. I'm lining it up with the side. And I'm doing it with the ruler, not the mat. And the other straight edge doesn't matter so much as long as I've got two straight edges to actually line up with. So we'll just cut along there. And again, let's just spider those hands up to cut it up. So that's
lovely.
And actually, we can measure with the ruler how long that is. So if we start at, let's take it off there so I can see. So that's actually just over 21. We wanted it 21. That's pretty good for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a quilter. I am not 100% accurate. You'll find this over the next few days. So that is actually the back of my case. Now I need the front of my case. So that is 4.5 inches by 8 inches. So I'm just going to go again. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4.5. And again, line up on any straight lines that you've got. So I've got a straight line at the top, I've got a straight line down to the left. And I've put my rotary cutter somewhere. There we go.
Now I'll mention this mat that everybody's loving, the A2 self-heating cutting mat, because as Rosella said, you've got the centimetres on the one side and then the inches on the other, and perfect for those larger pieces of material, you know, in your fat quarters. You do need that longer length there, especially with the ruler as well. Great price point, $17.99, 410087. We've also got a rotating cutting mat. This sounds a bit spectacular. Oh, if we've got a still of that. Rosella's got it.
I've got
I've
one.
not seen one of these before. This is alchemy.
This
What wizardry is this?
This is this is
Look
brilliant.
at this.
Let's say we're going to cut this particular, and we will come back to the phone case in a moment.
Yes, I'm
We're gonna
sorry,
cut
we've
this.
digressed. 'cause
No,
I think
not at all.
viewers have found it on the web, and I've not seen one of these.
And again, it's broadly similar. So we want a straight edge. So let's give ourselves a straight edge to work with. And then we want to turn it so that we're using that straight edge to measure. Okay? And so all you need to do then is to cut it again. So I have one of these and the other mat as well for this reason, because actually if you are cutting lots of little pieces, then rather than pick it up each time, all you need to do is turn it round.
That's just the best.
Isn't that
That
just
is
absolutely
just the
brilliant?
best.
It really is. So
What a
it's
handy
just,
piece of
again,
kit.
if you've not got one of these, you're going to find that you absolutely
You'll be
love
thinking,
this.
how do I ever live without it?
Yeah,
once you've got
especially
one.
if you do cut the
Yeah.
smaller pieces,
Yes,
maybe you are cutting
patchwork,
small pieces.
quilting, paper piecing, yeah.
Absolutely, and this is 12 inches. This square.
31.99, 434 583, and 14 inches by 14 inches.
It's,
yeah.
and actually, yeah, it's actually a good. It's a 13, isn't it,
13
for the measurements? And you've
Right.
also got your angles on there as well, which I look at and think, when I become a quilter, I'll know what to do with those.
Brilliant. And something else everybody's loving is our gorgeous Guttermans, just while we pause for a second, 18.95. And you've got, I just wanted to show you the beautiful box, because I do love the boxes as well. Now you've got 48 assorted colours, so I'm going to open this up. I have to put it down for a moment just so everything spills out for me. Look at all of those shades there, because the 30 is brilliant, but of course you've got more shading in between those fantastic colours there. So 100 metres on each of those, fine quality, full spools there for your sewing. 2 flexi-buy payments of £30. That's working out at £1.20 a spool, and as Rosella said, to buy those individually, there is a huge saving in that as well. And it's very delicate, a nuance of a shade, but when you're trying to get it right and to have that there, it becomes very, very important. So I just think it's a very delicate nuance, but by gum, you'll see it in, if you really want your work to look so beautifully finished as well. Perfect as well for your embroidery and not freewheeling, free motion. There we go. Free motion, freewheeling. What are you on about, together? 585504. Back to you, Rosella.
Okay, so I've got the front of my phone case, which is, if you're making along, is 4.5 by 8 inches. So that's to match the back. The lining. So the lining, you can use any fabric, of course, but I'm using the plains. I'm using the fat quarter plains on this because I think it's a nice contrast between the two. So we're just going to use that, and the lining is 4.5 by 14. And then what we need then is some fusible fleece on there, ever so slightly smaller, just so that when we do our stitching, our fleece doesn't get in the seams and make it bigger and bulkier than we need it. And then my iron should be nice and warm now. Well, I've not looked at what setting I put it on, but I'm sure it'll be nice and warm. Let's go back to my multi-mat now, and let's iron on this fusible fleece. So this is just brilliant, isn't it?
I know, instead of lugging a great big ironing board out, and also you just want to work it on the surface that you're on. So this is what's so fantastic about.
Also for when you're doing your ironing, actually, if you're doing ironing little things.
Oh yes,
I've got to get the ironing board out. Just get this out.
If it wasn't for the for the sewing, I don't iron anything. I just don't. I refuse to. The only thing I might do is the kids' uniforms, so they don't look totally,
they didn't invent non-creasing shirts for a reason, did they?
My mum loves ironing. She loves it.
Really?
Yeah, she loves
I don't mind it at all, because it's thinking time, isn't it? It's a bit of me time, just to stand
the TV
and
on
iron. Yeah. But it's just one of those things, isn't it?
But for something like this, for a project like this, this is good. This is good ironing. I like this.
And this iron's nice and light as well, which I really, really like. This is actually, in those heady days when we used to travel, this is great, isn't it? For packing. Because this is, and because that handle moves to the side, it's fantastic. So the fusible fleece, I'm just wetting my cloth and then pressing it down. So.
Right. And is the heat's activating that?
That's it. Rather than
Fusing it to
using,
the-
I don't tend to put water in my little irons at all. I tend to use a spray bottle like I am.
Oh, I
Only
see.
I'd filled it up with more. And I tend to use, you know, non-steam.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sort of stretch it, anything like that.
Ah, okay. That's good to know.
So I'm just ironing. I can't believe the time's flying. That's because I'm talking so
I know,
much, isn't
gosh,
it?
yeah.
Honestly.
But it's okay. We're together again at 8 o'clock. So.
All right. Well, I'm going to try and get everything done on this that I possibly can. So I will stop waffling quite so much, I do promise. So there we go. That's attached. Now, we still want to keep our iron out. And pins we need. And I might even use a tape measure. We've got a little selection, a hemline selection of all these essential things that this stuff comes in.
Yes, we have a Sewn Essentials bundle with the Hemline Haberdashery kit. Let's have a look on the kit there very quickly. We have got the actual, oh yes, the sewing pins, the flower pins there with that magnetic pebble. Your seam ripper there as well. Your machine needles, your tape measure, tailor's chalk. Yeah, fantastic. Loads of there. Your seams right, your actual sew needles themselves as well as the machine needles. And your little pin cushion there as well. This is what? Oh, you've got all this in your sewing box.
I've got it in my sewing box. I absolutely have.
You showed me earlier. I don't know why I'm surprised. 32.99 495 116.
So I'm going to measure my folds now in the back. So if I just show you one of these that I've already done, these are the bits I'm measuring now, hence why it's so long. So the first one at 3 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to place a pin in, and let's actually put it in the right place. There we go. And then the next one wants to be 7 1/4 inches. It's not written in stone, this. The next one at 11 1/2. You'll notice everything I make, none of it's written in stone. And the next one at 14 1/4. So let's pop that in. Or thereabouts. Okay. Oh, it gives me so much pleasure. Back to your ironing board.
It really does.
And we can start. We're going to then fold wrong sides together. Now this is a great little thing. Look at
I've
that.
got one of these.
Have you got one?
They're
the pins
fantastic.
go through.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Do you know what? I didn't know that was the lid bit. That's what you do. I just kept taking the lid off and I thought it's great because the magnetic pull just woof. I didn't know that. That's a revelation. That's like the
Every
spaghetti
day's a school
spoon
day.
thing the other day. I didn't realise the hole in the middle was for measuring your spaghetti per person. Did you know that, Rosella?
I did not know
No,
that.
exactly.
Wow.
Your spaghetti ladle, we were doing a kitchen happy hour, and it had a hole in the middle, and I just thought that's to let the water drain out. No, you take your bunch of spaghetti and it measure it through the hole. That's about, on average, for one person. Who'd have thought? I can't. I'm always like, because I don't eat spaghetti. I'm always like, well, yours bung a bit more in. You think it's never enough. And then you have piles of the stuff left over. But I didn't know that little wee hole was just the popping through. Honest to goodness, every day is a school day. I love it.
So all I'm doing is I'm just.
And I've got that, Rosella, and I didn't realise that.
Well, I
Yeah.
have one of those. I've always weighed it, as they say, you know, however much per person, and then double it for Henry. So then I've now got my folds. So at this point, just make sure that your folds are lined up. Whether they're in exactly where you wanted them or not, as long as they're lined up, that's good. You're good to go on that. So you can see pretty much where this is coming from now. So this is the front and back. We've got a little bit to take off, but that's okay, we can do that. And then that's the lining. So we're getting there, Fiona. We're getting there. So I need to actually have a bit of a tidy up so I can get to my sewing machine now.
Okay.
So
I'll recap the one-day special,
Thank
which is
you.
using that fantastic multi-mat. Now, you've seen them before, but this is very stylish. Once this lovely limited edition is gone, it has gone, I'm afraid. So we have got the lovely Hemline Gold fantastic Quilters A4 multi-mat. You've got that rough-edged, it's almost like the emery board there for sticking in the placement of your pieces, especially if you're doing your quilting or anything like that, or embroidery there. That holds it in place. Then you've got that lovely, soft, sort of almost like a suede, felted mat there again to place your projects on, keep them safe, keep them flat without them falling out. And then obviously that healing mat and measuring mat there as well. And then obviously for the sewing and the padded on the reverse of the quilter's multi-mat. Then you've got the rotary cutter itself, sharp blade, but what's built in, and which is fantastic, is that actually releases the guard, as it were, by pressing that down. And then you've got the button there that you press in as well, that will hold that locked into place and then release it. So that guard, you don't have to keep taking it on and off, and it's built into the rotary cutter, which is superb, lovely ergonomic handle there as well. And then the ruler, which we've seen, you know, Rosella's using to great use. Isn't that fantastic? With all 24 by 6.5 inches. 30, 45 and 60 and 90-degree angle lines on there as well. Imperial measurements as well. Very durable acrylic as well. And yeah, a must-have piece of equipment. All for a great saving price of £42.47, £10 saving. I'm sure you agree, a gorgeous looking bundle there, 078508. If you've got that ruler, I think a must-have is the A2 healing mat as well. With the inches, sorry everybody, with the inches, with the angles, and then also on the reverse, you've got the centimetres as well. So whatever the dress pattern or whatever the pattern is, you know, you've got to give. And sometimes, you know, with the self-healing mats, I know sometimes you've used it as, you know, crafting as well, and you get a bit of paint, a splodge on it, and they start to look a bit dog-eared, so treat yourself to a new one. £17.99, 410087. You might have a smaller one, I think. Yeah, it's about time I need that bigger one for this. And it protects your surface area as well, especially when you're cutting and what have you. So a great addition. 20% of the stock of that large mat has gone. Right, she's got her sewing machining out. She's ready to go.
Well, she's got thread envy now. So I've got... Now,
you got your Gutterman's out, the large one.
This is mine. And this is the other one, isn't it?
Oh, have you got the 31? You need the 48 now.
I need the 40. Now, one of the things, so I've just opened it just to have a look, as you do. And I thought, oh, hello. Just look at this. I need white thread, don't I? There's two white threads. You've got white and off-white. So if you're like me, you rarely actually stitch with white. I tend to stitch with either cream or grey or off-white. And they've got it, but just look at this.
I know, the shades are amazing, aren't they?
That's rather nice. Just it goes over the top. So this is, you know, Fiona, I think we need to do a little bit of a check on the price of a thread spool, because I know that this is a really, really good price on this, because and to actually then get the storage tin, which is absolutely gorgeous. And tonight it's all about looking good, isn't it?
Oh,
it's all about our craft rooms looking the best that we can possibly make them look.
Oh, so yeah, we've done the price check.
Go for it.
They're working out at £1.20 a spool for 100 metres. But if you were to buy them individually, we found a price point that was £2 a spool.
Wow.
Wow. So you're looking at £96 straight away if you're buying them all individually.
And the great thing about them is obviously the colours that you've got. These are the colours. These are not the unusual colours. This is not necessarily the neon pink, which I have several in my craft box, or the, you know, the sort of a neon green. These are your usable colours. If I just bring in those fat quarters.
Yes, because you've got a lot of lovely colours on there.
I will continue with this phone case later. We've got time to do 2 projects at the next hour, so please, you know, forgive me for not doing it now, but I get a bit overexcited at this. So look at these. You're going to then, I think, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That one in the middle there, bottom row, crying out.
How about this one?
The powder blue there,
yeah,
defo.
Absolutely. Let's go for a different colour range. And
pick one of those florally ones.
Okay. And now, look at this.
Because you've got a few colourways.
So we've got a choice, haven't we, depending on what our backing fabric. This looks super with it. The darker colours, if you're going for a lighter backing fabric, that off-white creamy colour.
Perfect,
isn't it? Or maybe, look at the greens. These are the most beautiful greens.
Oh, I like now you're onto a winner there with those greeny greys there.
Oh, aren't they just absolutely?
See, that would be a really difficult colour to match up, I think.
I think so too. In fact, I'm going to try and find one that. There we go. How about pink now? That's an unusual rosy pink, isn't it? What would we go with that? Let's have a look. So we've got an almost perfect match on that, and look at this sort of raspberry colour as well. So you're going to get what you need from this. You've got so much choice in the colours on there. I love this sort of rich burgundy. That's just gorgeous, isn't it? Now, Fiona, I have a lot of tins because I love collecting tins, and I think, would I have that for the tin? But actually, no, I'd have that to keep my threads in
Yes.
the tin.
Because you can see it at a glance, like you've just done, place your material on top and we just see what is the perfect match.
It is, and now that I've put white on, I want that colour on.
Yes, no, I went straight to that as well.
Yeah,
That lovely
absolutely.
burgundy.
So I shall be having that on when we do the outside. What I am going to do is just quickly... No, actually, I'm going to show you this. Because if you are stitching anything, so I've got a little fold here. If I'm stitching up the sides, there's a chance that fold's going to go to the side. If I was stitching a handle on something, I'd do the same again. I would just, within your seam allowance, just run down and reinforce just where those folds are so that they don't then come undone whilst you're stitching your outsides. It takes you sort of a couple of seconds, that's all, a very, very small seam, but it will save you so much time later.
A lot of heartache, right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Top tip.
Yeah, if they move.
Especially while you've got them perfect like that. And yeah.
And let's do it the other side as well. This is, again, it's one of those, it's the cotton from the Fat Quarter selection, and it's a really firm cotton. It's beautiful to work with. I'd quite like a larger piece of fabric like this, actually. And let's just take that up. So that's ready to go alongside the back as well, but I want to make a little tag for that. Our lining, we're going to put right sides together. We're going to leave the fleece on the outside. We need to leave a turning gap. So we must try and remember this. I mean, I don't always remember, Fiona, I really don't. Let's have a look at what sort of... There we go, that'll do. So as long as your seam allowance is the same, actually that's a little bit small. Let's make it a little bit larger. It doesn't matter.
We've got the linen fat quarters, the cotton linen fat quarters that Rosella was referring to. Pick any two. Well, should we quick look at the options while we're just... Don't forget to leave the gap, Rosella.
I'm going to do
we've
that
got the
now.
blue. We saw the blue, the lovely ditzy dots. Oh, I love the fresh. That's lovely, isn't it? The naturals we've seen with Rosella. And Rosie. Rosie's Rosie. Makes total sense to me, that. So 10 fat quarters there for £23.99, and the naturals are the ones that Rosella's working with at the moment, 135398.
They're absolutely lovely, and the blue spotty is just beautiful.
Oh, pretty as.
Now, which pair of scissors shall I use? Shall I go for the small scissors? Shall I go for the large?
Or
That's just the area that I've left my turning gap. I've just got so much choice, Fiona. I'm not going to get this done. I'm really sorry. I have talked so much.
But it's okay. We've got 8 o'clock. It can be to be continued.
We will continue at 8. So I'm just going to finish and stitch up my lining, and then we'll continue so that we can get it done. Our producer says I can blame her, but actually I know who's doing the most talking because I know who's getting the horses here, and it's not you, Fiona, it's me, isn't it?
Well, I've got a part to play in that, so I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm as much to blame. It's just all just gorgeousness. That's why I've got to talk about it.
It is absolutely lovely, isn't it? Let's just put that out of the way. I wonder if we've just got time to make a little tag for the side, because I want to use, whilst my iron's on and hot, let's use it. Let's go back
use
to
our multi-mat.
Our multi-mat for that. So I'm just going to make a little side tag. I'll show you one, but I seem to have mislaid all of the cases that came with me. So let's just fold in a little bit. Now, my iron's a bit too hot for that. I'm going to turn it down.
Oh.
Yeah, it's...
Can that happen? Can that be a thing then?
Yeah, it's a great little iron, this. If you've got one that actually, like my little one is not as hot as this, so I've got iron envy as well now. And it's just, this is such a super iron, and then all we need to do then is fold that over and stitch down.
Oh, this is our little handle, is it?
That's right. And then I'll show you how to put it together at 8 o'clock, and then we'll do something else as well.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rosella. Thank you, my darling. It's a good job we've got that extra 8 o'clock, isn't it? Now, don't forget everything in terms of the one-day special that we've got on the show, and we will be with you at 8 o'clock. Once it's gone, because this is the Hemline gold edition, so limited, if you like, simply in the way that, you know, once it's gone, it has gone. We're looking at the one-day special. We've got that lovely So Easy mini iron on there that Rosella was referring to as well, £24.99. Very handy piece of kit, especially if you're travelling away as well. But we are looking at the one-day special, which comprises of that fantastic ruler, our fantastic rotary cutter, and of course our quilters multi-mat. If you want the elements individually, we can bring up the A4 multi-mat. on its own. That in itself is £19.99, 180941. The Rotary Cutter is available on its own as well, and that is £14.99. I love that with that guard built in. I really think that's nifty. That is £965,275. And the ruler, the Patchwork Ruler as well, in that lovely, lovely longer edition there as well, which works perfectly with the A2 mat, is £17.49, 24 by 6.6, 501263. But of course, by having all three of those bundled together, it means we get a £10 saving. And I urge you to look elsewhere for the Hemline Gold Edition pieces, just to see the prices that you are getting anyway here. £42.47, and you can split that into 2 flexi-buy payments as well. So please don't forget to check out your baskets. We will continue the projects with Rosella at 8 o'clock. Thank you so much, my darling.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Fiona.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to 8 o'clock. We'll have a bit more chat, but we'll finish some projects as well. Don't want you to go anywhere, because our lovely Paola's up next. Let's see what's happening.